We are in week 2 of the Joker sequel, and the numbers aren't exactly looking all that stellar. And if you've gone and seen the movie, you should not be shocked by the drastic drop we're about to look at. Hello there, my name is Ian, and welcome to my channel as we talk about what is happening with Joker 2 and the cope that we've been seeing on Twitter around it. Now, I have gone and seen the movie. I thought it was rather boring and, quite frankly, an unnecessary sequel, but it is what it is. The first Joker movie came out in 2019, and despite the fact that the Access media was warning about incel violence, which never manifested, by the way, all because you had a white male protagonist that was put in a position of weakness and was shown to be a victim. The movie made over $1 billion, which was very, very successful. And on top of that, it had a very modest budget of $55 million. Well, modest by today's standards, considering that most movies have a budget of over $200 million. And because of the fact that this movie was so successful, even though it did not need a sequel, well, we got one anyway, despite the fact that Todd Phillips himself didn't want to do a sequel either. Now, for whatever reason, Warner Brothers wanting to go and take another L, they decided to go and throw $190 million at this project, which was a huge mistake. They should have kept the budget around $55 to $60 million, just like the first one. From week 1 to week 2, there is an 81% drop-off, which is pretty massive. The Marvels, which is equally a dog shit movie, only had a 78% drop-off, which is also pretty massive. But Joker 2 manages to beat out the Marvels by 3%. Now, typically, most movies do have a significant drop-off between week 1 and week 2, but on average, you're looking at between 40 to 50%. As we see here with Joker, there is a 42% drop-off between week 1 and week 2, which is not half bad, raking in a total of $193 million in week 2. And it's also worth pointing out that these are just the domestic numbers. Joker 2 is an absolute financial disaster. And according to That Park Place, Joker 2 stands to lose somewhere between $150 million to $250 million. Great job, Warner Brothers. You played yourself. But for Joker 2, it only grossed $51 million between week 1 and week 2, which is pretty awful. So it begs the question, what went wrong? Well, for starters, they made a sequel to a film that did not warrant a sequel. And on top of that, they gave it an overinflated budget, guaranteeing its failure. And the third reason why is that they could have done a Bonnie and Clyde style movie with Joker and Harley Quinn, but instead, Todd Phillips decided to go and subvert our expectations. And this should be the biggest no-dust statement. When you don't give your audience what they want, you tend to lose money. Shocker. However, what does surprise me has been the rather odd reaction on Twitter. Joker 2, in a lot of ways, has been getting the acolyte treatment. So you get posts like this on Twitter.
This is so irritating seeing what social media hate train does to a fucking movie. If the incels and negative people joining the trend to just feel part of something were bitching about this movie everywhere for weeks, overreacting on the musical elements, other people still give it a chance and see it for themselves, then decide if they like it or not. But y'all fucking haters had to ruin it for casual moviegoers too. Are you all happy now?
You know, the tale is old as time. This movie would have been successful if it wasn't for all those incels and negative people on Twitter, as well as those YouTubers talking shit about a terrible movie. And never mind the fact that it's simply just that, a terrible movie. And word got around about it. The audacity of some people. That's right, folks. It's all Twitter's fault. It has nothing to do with the director or the studio or the fact that the movie just simply sucks.
Oh, but forget about having new original risky films in the future from now on. There won't be any more cult classics like Joker 2019. Now, especially in big franchises, the studio won't greenlight that. You'll get what you fucking deserve.
Okay, let's take a step back for a moment. As is, studios aren't taking risk anymore, which is the reason why a lot of movies are very formulaic, predictable, and they suck. Disney. This movie is no exception. Joker 2 is not an art piece. It is a deconstruction of the original Joker film, and it literally undoes everything that was portrayed in the first movie. And let's be honest here, this movie is getting exactly what it fucking deserves, which is failure.
Just basic boring stories.
Much like Joker 2.
Full of cameos, explosions, and fan service, but no depth or good plot.
This movie was not good. It did not have a good plot.
Movies that feel more like a fucking product created just to sell than a film-making work of art. Y'all get tired of that pretty soon.
I'm already tired of it. I've been tired of this shit for years. This is not new. Just throwing that out there. Now, the irony to all this is what this person just said really applies to Disney, because that is exactly what they're doing. They are creating product for the sake of having product with no real artistic merit to it, or entertainment value for that matter. But at the same time, this movie is not good. It's boring and reductive, and it doesn't need to exist. And it perpetuates the issue that we're seeing in Hollywood. Because when a movie like this fails, well, yes, obviously the industry is going to be impacted as well. And to a certain degree, this person is not wrong. The fact that this movie failed, and again, this is not the audience's fault, this is the fault of the filmmaker, Hollywood, and in this instance, Warner Brothers, definitely will be a little bit more risk averse when it comes to creating original movies, sadly. But this is a problem of their own making, so stop blaming the audience. And then we have this glorious comment right here.
It is a pity that first the critics and the word of mouth hurt Joker 2.
Hey, buddy, you may not know this, but that's exactly how this is supposed to work. Movies typically underperform when they don't live up to the audience's expectations. That's just how things work. It's gonna get bad reviews and bad word of mouth. Shocker. Shocker.
The online hate campaign was really unjustified.
Seriously, dude, what online hate campaign? People saw a movie, they didn't like it, they said they didn't like it, and that's basically it. Yeah, this movie is getting quote-unquote review bombed. Fucking retarded.
I get it wasn't what people were expecting, but instead of embracing it...
Okay, why would people embrace something that they don't like? Just throwing that out there, kind of curious. Why would people embrace something that they don't like? That's dumb.
They revolted, but in such a hateful way that made the average moviegoer not even give it a chance.
But it's 2024 and everybody deserves a prize, including large studios that are losing money.
In time when people will find it, and I think it will have a different perception instead of the box office flop and worst second week drop and other taglines. It's going to be a cult classic.
No, it's not.
And it already is a masterpiece of the genre.
It's more like a masterclass of what not to do when it comes to creating a sequel that you want to have make a lot of money. As a matter of fact, you do the complete opposite of what this movie does, which is subvert the audience's expectations. No, you go and lean into the success of the first movie by giving the audience what they want. I honestly don't understand this reaction to this film. If you like it, hey, that's great. I didn't, but we all have different strokes, right, folks? That's how the world goes round. Just because I like something you don't doesn't mean you're a bad person or have an awful take. This is a matter of taste, and I know quite a few people that have enjoyed this film. I personally did not, and that's completely fine. I don't understand this whole victim mentality when it comes to large corporations. They made something, it wasn't good, people rejected it, you move on with your life. Anyway, folks, that is my take. What is yours? What are your thoughts on the massive failure that is Joker 2? Do you think this movie will find redemption, or will it simply get memory hold over time? I guess we'll find out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go and subscribe. Go and check out the next video popping up right about now, and I'll catch you next time, folks.